Coming up is a video Jane and myself did on Facebook Live. We're going to publish them here on YouTube as well. So as well as liking, sharing and commenting on this video here on YouTube, you can also come and enjoy watching us on Facebook. We'll be there, you can ask questions, you can join in the banter, and it's quite light, quite fun, and I'm sure you'll enjoy it. So follow my channel here on YouTube and follow us on Facebook too. Anybody got a theme you'd like us to pick up on, and we can do
Ghost
that?
balls.
What, Gorbs?
Ghost balls to you, Craig.
Oh.
No, I've actually seen a big ghost ball. I can remember they're quite huge. They're not orbs. They're
oh, I know what you're talking about.
They're great. Well, they're like
actually, there's one you can talk. Yes,
ball.
I mean,
wait a minute, I'm talking. You're always interrupting me, aren't you? Click clear, always.
I know nothing.
That's true. A ghost ball is something that suddenly came into the room one night, and you could actually put your hand through it, and it was bright orange. And I've met other psychic people that have said to me they've had an orange light follow them around from a child. And because my mother, who's 90 now, told me that when I was a little girl, I always used to on about the big orange ball follow me around. It was like a physical phenomenon following me. And I felt that was really from something from, protecting me and everything.
Well, I used to get exactly the same thing. I never knew what it was. It didn't seem like any optical effect, But the one that was really amazing. Now, the one that was really, and we'll tell you this story because this was so interesting. We were asked by a spiritualist church to go to a boat that was haunted, right? Okay, so a haunted boat, right? So that's great, a haunted boat. So oh yeah, okay, we'll do that. Now this is in the early days when Jane and I we hadn't been together that long, had we? We more or less, I don't know, not that long, but we were going out courting, doing strange things like seeing the Dalai Lama and things like that.
Boat. I should have pushed
yeah, if you had any sense at the time. And yeah, okay, so we there was this haunted boat that was in Hamble, wasn't it? Down by the Jolly Sailor.
It's all misty, isn't it?
And we went down there and met these mediums. There was this medium from the church that was going to run it and do the trance or whatever she wanted to do. So we went along with it. And there was a group of us. I mean, there's 4 of us, 5. How many of us was there? There was Michael, who's now dead. Then there was the medium who I can't remember her name.
And there was... these people didn't have a lot of money. It was like an old coal boat.
Yeah, so there was 4 of us, wasn't there?
Yeah.
Went there.
And like anything,
5 maybe.
Yeah. Like anything, you've got to start the evening with a prayer to open up a circle.
We went to the boat, didn't we? First of all, let them know that we went to the boat.
We had to go in a rowing boat.
Yeah, across the misty water. It was a real typical horror story scene. Moonlight water.
Here's the horror. Here's the horror story.
Still sea. Going over to this boat in order to do an exorcism on this boat. Because this woman, apparently everything was happening to her. All Poltergeist was around, and there was,
she believed she was raped in the night.
All sorts of things were going on. We found that out later. So we went over there. Okay, so pick up the story from there. So we're on the boat, okay? And describe, what was the boat like, Jane?
I think you've already described them, yeah?
I mean, we saw there's a sailing boat, wasn't it? It was quite small.
It wasn't a sailing boat, it's an old coal boat. And when you actually went on this boat, they had matchsticks hanging down from the planks, all in between the planks, of water dripping down. Do you remember?
Oh, yeah.
And then we went...
Michael banged his head as we went down the stairs.
Yeah, and then as we walked into the room downstairs, obviously they went and bought new mugs and things. These keys flew across the table.
I mean, that really threw everybody straight away, didn't it?
There's an old superstition that you're not meant to have a woman that goes on a boat. Remember?
That was what they interpreted it as. Yeah.
Well, we're set there, and because you could feel a spirit of an older man round and banging at your heads and that, and it went icy cold. And the medium that was meant to start prayer going trance got frightened. Do you remember?
She freaked out when she saw the keys fly.
It was real,
didn't she?
It was real.
She finally saw something
there was
that was
bang,
tangible.
Bang. It was really, really spooky.
And it was a still night.
And then
it wasn't the
Michael, because he felt an axe go through his head from the spirit, and it came up to me. I said, Go to Craig.
Well, it's better to put that in context. We're all sat around doing a seance type thing on the boat in order to call the spirit, right? And then we see the keys fly and all these sort of things going on. So there was suddenly we realised there was definitely something going on there. This wasn't some sort of most haunted thing. This was a real encounter. And then Michael felt this axe go through his head, didn't he? And he was horrified because he felt as if he was being hit by an axe.
Yeah, and the man and lady that lived on the boat, the husband lived one end, the woman lived the other end. She was a music teacher, and they couldn't get this grand piano on the boat, so they chopped the legs off and kept it.
He couldn't get the grand piano on the boat. So what he did, he went to the front of the boat, you know, where it goes to a point, and then jammed this grand piano in, took the legs off, and then hammered with nails the piano into the front of the boat. So every time it moved, it would go out of tune, wouldn't it? It must have done, you know. And every time the boat moved, it must have gone boing, you know.
And when we were doing the seance, they had candles around and gas. Oh, not gas lamps, those old-fashioned oil lamps. Suddenly it all went out like that, and it was icy cold. And I think somebody, did that lady scream or something?
Someone screamed. I remember someone screamed. I nearly bloody died. I mean, you're supposed, and the medium panicked. That's what I thought was so funny. That medium that was with us, who was supposed to, because, you know, we were quite new, we were quite young then, weren't we? I mean, our 20s, weren't we? Still. Yeah. And you know, so we take the older medium's advice. You know, she panicked. Brilliant.
And so I told them all to join hands and say the Lord's Prayer, and to ask it to go, and a peace and everything. Suddenly, it all went calm, really calm, because the table that we there was shaking up and down.
Michael with an axe in his head.
You know, you expect any second now Jack Nicholson to shine
so
with an axe.
It really was. But
and it all went calm.
And remember, this is in the middle of the water. This wasn't moored. It was we had to go out to the boat in the water. You know, it was moored out in the water. So we got a full moon night. Stuck on this boat that looked like it'd sink any minute because it was so old, you know, with the piano hammered in the bow.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so funny. Anyway, we cleared it. I mean, our feelings was that there'd been a murder on the boat. Someone had been hit with an axe. And that's what the haunting was. But the woman herself, now this has to be said, because I felt the woman herself was a bit odd. And I often think that people that have real serious mental conditions, on the schizophrenic type mental conditions, they exude energy that can actually manifest and move things around them. So I still question whether that was some spirit on there or whether it was something projected from the woman. Because when we were saying, no, we feel we've cleared it, she wasn't too happy, because I felt that having the spirit around her actually drew attention to her. And it wasn't fantasy, because real things were happening. You know, all those physical things were happening. But I think she was the cause of the poltergeist activity, not a ghost or spirit as such.
Explain the day before we actually went on the boat.
Well, yeah, we had one weird evening the night before we went, because we jumped into this
Every evening's weird with this man. Many evenings are weird evenings.
Okay. So the night before, okay, we were in bed, and it was again it was in summertime, because it was a clear evening.
Hi, Tom.
But there was no signs of thunder or anything like that. It was a clear evening. There was definitely nothing like that going around. And we were laid in bed, and in the middle of the room, this is the night before. We knew the next night we were going to go and do this poltergeist thing, because we didn't know anything about it at that stage. You know, this ball of light appeared in the middle of the room.
Massive.
It was just.
But
it's just huge.
The door shook, and it was like suddenly filled out the room with light. It's like, if one could describe, like angel wings, absolutely bright, and like 1,000 little stars all joining together. I've never seen anything like it.
And this was not something you see sort of inwardly or like outwardly, a retinal effect or anything like that. It was there in the middle of the room, shivering and shimmering like a ball. I mean, this all happened in just a few seconds. I mean, it didn't take long, but we both sort of bolt upright. And I actually, now that the miracle, believe this or not, I had hair in those times, and the hair on my head was going all sort of electric. I felt all electric, didn't it? It was sort of like the room was like energized.
That must have been the cause of it.
Now, it wasn't being hit by lightning. It definitely wasn't, because it was a clear night sky. Nothing could have been like that.
Something out there, and I believe that was the night of conception.
Well, it could have been. Well, you often think that as well. Could have been the spirit coming of Danielle. You know, our first child together.
What do you mean?
Our first child together. Our only child together.
Correct that.
Because of stepchildren too. But so goodness knows what actually happened that night. But what happened when that ball of light appeared? My reaction was to leap out of bed and try to grab it. I just leapt after it, and as I went for it, it sort of bounced across the room. It hit the wall, hit the other wall, and then out of the door, didn't it? Right, and I ran through the bedroom door, and that was it. It was gone. It was just, you know. So it came with such suddenness and disappeared in such a strange physical way that you could physically see this with your own eyes. There was no saying, you know, oh, I'm seeing lights now inwardly and things. No, it's bang there, right in front of us, as real as anything, tangible as anything you can see in the world.
Yeah, and if you see true materialization, it's not fantasy or anything. It's very real. And suddenly builds up in front of you, and you wouldn't have fear or be frightened of it. It's so incredible, these things that we see.
So that makes me believe that physical mediumship is definitely possible. You know, but
there's too many cheats.
But the problem is, Jane and I also, if you've read my book, the new one, Journey to India, it's in, isn't it? Mystic Journey to India, it's in, I wrote it in. I told the story of when Jane and I went to see some physical mediums in hope you enjoyed that. Don't forget, 9 o'clock UK time on Facebook. Jane and I will try to be there every Thursday. Okay, Thursday, 9 o'clock UK time. See you there.